everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to talk about concealers. It's going to be all about concealers on brown skin tone, how to color correct with some color corrector for dark spots. Color correcting is a huge subject which I cannot cover in one video. I'm only going to talk about sort of ashy bluey undertones, how to color correct those, and go from there. So let's get into it. Now, concealer. You might be thinking, if you're new to makeup, what the heck is the difference between a concealer and a foundation? Now, there are foundations, there are tinted moisturizers, there are skin illuminators, there are so many varieties in the market these days. Foundation and concealer are completely two different things. Now, there's a technique called underpainting. So you could go under your foundation for your concealer, correct whatever you need to correct, then put concealer on to brighten, whatever the purpose may be, and then use minimal amount of foundation on top. If you prefer the other way, more traditional way, which is usually you put a light layer of foundation, you see what that covers, and then sort of spot conceal all around your face, color correct if need be, let it dry, then conceal. Now, what do I prefer? Lately I haven't been wearing heavy foundations. That is just not my look. I am more skin focused right now, so I sort of use like skin illuminators, skin tints, BB creams, that type of a very lightweight product. If I have to get a lot of coverage, I would definitely go with now this is what I tend to typically wear. So this is Dream Screen Tinted Veil with SPF 50. This is by Ultraviolet. I love this one. Or I also love Maybelline Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer. Amazing. Good coverage as well. I also like MCO Beauty Flawless Glow. This is a illuminator. It's not a foundation. It does have color, but it's an illuminator. So it sort of blurs out your imperfections. It's not gonna give you a smooth canvas to sort of like go on full glam. Although I prefer these over my, you know, Fenty Beauty, my MAC Studio Fix, or even my Hourglass. So these are much more heavier, full glam type of bases. I'm not into that anymore. I like these type of products now. So even then, I would use this for like a great night out, or if I had to attend a wedding for somebody, if I'm going for like a award show, or like a red carpet event. Not that I'm ever invited to a red carpet event, but you know, like for my graduation, I wore this type of a base and then concealed. On the everyday, I just prefer my concealers. Now, there are concealers that comes in all different types of forms. Now, I do have a couple of those types. This is one of my favorite concealers, which is Maybelline Fit Me. It is obviously a liquid type of a concealer, or like a creamy liquid type of concealer. And then there's the Hourglass. Hourglass, these concealers are called something, but they are in stick form. Now I do have two different colors. They are very close in color, if you can see, but this color is lighter than this color, so it's quite obvious when you look at it in the natural light. So you can conceal, but you can also conceal to brighten. So that's where the two shades come in handy. Now, a great performing concealer over foundation, under foundation, just on its own is and has been the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. And the shade that I have been using is NC42. Okay. My actual foundation shade for MAC Studio Fix is NC45. although I think I could go a little lighter because my skin color is a bit lighter because I spend most of my time indoors now. Back in the day I was more outdoorsy, so yeah. And then Tarte Tape Shape is a great concealer as well, but this is much lighter than my skin tone and it is great for brightening. Then there are other concealers that is solid, comes in a pot like this. This one is NC45. It is, the shade is NC45. It's by MAC Studio Sculpt Concealer. This is one of those OG concealers that's incredible. You can use this on your eyelids to prime your eyes before your eyeshadow. This is a great concealer for spot concealing your post-acne marks and things like that, because it is a thicker, creamier product than your liquids, which tend to move unless they are like specifically, you know, this is too thick for like under the eye, but I would go with something like that. So different forms of concealers have different purposes. When it comes to color correcting, what are we correcting? We're correcting something that we don't want to be shown to the world, right? So it could be age spots, it could be you know, us brown people, we have like brownish, like a dark ashy colored around our face. I have this weird birthmark. If you can see, it looks like somebody slapped me. I left a handprint, so it's like a lighter birthmark, lighter than my actual skin tone. I don't usually cover it, but it accentuates my darkness around the mouth, right? And then we can be covering up dark circles which have a bluey undertone to it. If you check, I have a lot of dark circles because of my kids. I am blessed with two beautiful children who doesn't sleep through the night, so they come and bug me at night. So I have a lot of dark circles. Now, like I mentioned, for those things and a darker skin tone, we should be using a peach color corrector. You could go a little bit lighter than this. I wouldn't go darker than this, but this is by MAC. This is Studio Conceal and Correct Duo. I believe this actual product is discontinued, but they still have this in a pan, like all other colors, or you can definitely find a color like this in a concealer palette, or lots of brands do have that. So that is the color. Okay, so you don't want to apply it so thick and heavy under your eyes where to the point you can't blend it and cover it with a concealer. So you want to apply it very lightly and you need to blend it. What it does is neutralize the color that you're going to correct. So do you see how it's sort of neutralized it? You let it dry, then you put your concealer on top. Okay, so what I would do is, depending on different purposes, your concealer changes. If you're trying to color correct, you need a peachy color. Okay, at least this dark, if you have my darkness, like the skin tone, at least this dark. If you're lighter than me, obviously go for a lighter color. If you're darker than me, go for a darker color. I believe Fenty has a really nice dark shade of color corrector as well. If I've seen, I think I saw it on Sephora, but you need that to correct darkness anywhere. And then you put it on, you let it dry. You could use a beauty blender if you want to use it. If you want to cover a lot, go dry. But if you want to sort of diffuse it and sort of cover it minimally, go wet. Or my preferred method actually is with a brush, with a dense brush. This brush is from She Glam, and it's like your finger, but it's a brush. It's very dense, short bristles. It fits right in there. See? Let's just do one side of my under eye so you can see what I'm talking about. Now if you tilt your head down, you can see your darker areas very nicely. Now, we're not trying to paint this color corrector on. We're just gonna dot it and neutralize that area. Okay. Sorry, you couldn't see. We're going to neutralize that area. Blend it really well. Now, do you see the difference? Already this side is brighter than this side. This side still has that shadow. Okay? Now you let that dry. Okay? You let that dry. If you have really oily skin, I even suggest going in with a translucent powder very lightly with a powder puff, a velour powder puff, and setting it very lightly before you go in with your concealer. Now, like I mentioned before, for under eyes, I would use if you're color correcting, going for the natural daytime look, your skin tone. Okay, so it has to match your skin color. But if you're going for the brighter under eye look, if you want to brighten it a little bit more, go for something probably 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin color. Okay, so do you see the difference? So that's my actual skin color that matches my skin, and that is lighter than my skin, probably 2 shades lighter than my skin. If you are covering acne spots or age spots, anything on your face, you need something a bit more substantial. You need something that can hold. Let's find a acne spot. There's not a lot left because I've been taking care of my skin really well, but maybe this one right here. I don't know if you can even see it, but you're just gonna go in with that and tap it on like that. And you're going to diffuse the edges, okay? Now, if I was color correcting that whole area, I would definitely do the peachy color on either side of my mouth and underneath, and then let it dry, and then go in with this, right? And then, but because I didn't want to color correct, I just went in with the thing. Now you could use the sponge to sort of blend it even further, but you let this dry a little bit, and then you go in with your translucent powder and pat it, and then your acne spot or hyperpigmentation would be disappeared for a while. Okay, let's go back to our eyes now. So to correct anything that's on your face like that, you need your own skin tone. This color seems a bit dark for me because I used to be much more tanner than this. Like I've said, I've been indoors. I work from home now. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I don't go out as much. I don't like to go out in the sun as much anymore. So this color may be a bit too yellow for me, but it still for some reason works, especially with the translucent powder. So for the under eyes though, however, I'm only color correcting today. I'm not gonna brighten. So if you want to brighten, you go a little bit lighter. For your face, anything you cover on your face, get the same shade of concealer as your foundation. This is NC45 and my foundation is NC45. So in Fit Me, my foundation or the tinted moisturizer is 330 is the color, and the matching color to that is Fit Me concealer in number 40 caramel. Okay, the foundation seems a little lighter on the tube, but they are pretty much the same color. Okay, let's go finish this under eye. Tiny dots. You don't want to swipe it on like you see in every video. Please don't. That makes it harder to blend. That's way too much product. It's gonna cake on you. It's gonna wrinkle up on you, dry, like it's gonna cling to dry spots. Don't do that. Little itty bitty, like my daughter says, itty bitty amount, okay, of the same skin color if you're not brightening. But if you are brightening, a lighter color. Dab, 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 dab. Okay, don't swipe, don't drag. Look up so you can get into all the nooks and crannies. Blend it down. All right. Oh my gosh, look at that. Do you see how bright that is? I didn't even put a lighter concealer. Already, it's incredibly covered. The camera doesn't do justice. This is incredible. Look, that's before. Gray, bluish, dark. That's after. Of course, nothing to do with my eye bags. That's just, you know, lack of sleep. But the color is evened out. There's no darkness under there anymore. Now, let's say you do want to brighten. Soften those eye bags a little bit. Then you go in with your lighter color. Remember, tiny bit right here. Where the eye bags are most visible. Same brush, dab. Dab up and down, side to side. Do not swipe it and get rid of all the hard work that you have been doing. Would you look at that? Now it's brighter. You can bring it down a little bit. You can go in a little bit because this area tends to be darker on us brown people for some reason. It's all the good things about being brown. And my eyelids are darker as well. But if I'm not wearing like a, you know, eye makeup look, I don't tend to prime or do a lot. I'll just like, you know, brush the remaining and that should be enough. And sort of powder it, and that would be great. Don't forget to powder your under eye as soon as you're done blending it. Otherwise, it's gonna get cakey on you. You need to even out the amount of powder, and you're gonna press like that. Make sure this is a finishing powder, not a powder foundation, because that can be too heavy under your eyes, especially if you have dry skin like me. It can just cake up under your eyes. But that's it. That's how you color correct. That's how you put concealer on. Now, there are other ways you can use concealer, like on the nose, on the bridge of your nose, on the upper lip. You can highlight any points that you want to highlight. You can highlight with concealer if you are not going to wear highlighter and things like that. It's a great way to do that. You could even do that with a lighter powder, like a lighter powder foundation. You know, this one's by MAC, tried and true. Again, NC45. I love this powder so much. But yeah, get a lighter shade of this and then you put a little bit where you need to highlight. That could be a good trick too. But that's pretty much it. Now, I showed you this illuminator before. Before all of these steps that I did, you could add a little bit of the illuminator, and the amount of concealer that you will need to use significantly reduces. So give that a go. And I hope I answered all the questions. If you have any more questions regarding color correcting dark spots, concealing, if I haven't covered what you were after, let me know. To my sister-in-law Helene, thank you so much for the video suggestion. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you also have any questions, leave it down in the comment section and I will answer them or do a follow-up video. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.